Boker Tov, guys. I hope everybody had a great Shabbos. Um, wonderful Shabbos. We're beginning the new week, Shavua Tov. We just finished Parsha Tasriya and Metzora, but I just wanted to share what some insight from the HaChaim on what he says in Parsha Metzora, and I'm going to read from Perek Yud Dalid, Pasuk Aleph, chapter 14, verse 1 in Leviticus. And it begins like this. It says, Vaydaber Adonai el Moshe le'amor. Hashem spoke to Moshe, saying, Zot tiyeh Toras ha-metzora bayom taharaso v'huva el hachohen. This shall be the law of the Metzora on the day of his purification. He shall be brought to the Kohen. Verse 3, Vayatsa haKohen el michutz lemachane ve'ra'a haKohen v'hine nirpa nega hatzoras min hatzura. It says, the Kohen shall go forth of the outside of the camp. The Kohen shall look, and behold, the tzara'as affliction has been healed from the Metzora. And then it continues, it says, Vitziva haKohen velachach lamit taher shete ziparim chayos taharos ve'etz erez ushne tolaos ve'etzov. It says, the Kohen shall command, and for the person being purified there shall be taken 2 live pure birds, cedar wood, a crimson tongue of wool, and hyssop. And then it goes on to say, Vitziva haKohen ve'shachat es hatzipur he'achas el keli cheres al maim chaim. It says, the Kohen shall command, and the one shall be slaughtered into an earthenware vessel over the spring water. So we learn about 2 birds, and one being slaughtered and one being set free. And the HaChaim, he goes into a more of a deeper explanation of this, really a remiss here. And he says the Kohen, when it says the Kohen shall command, he shall take for one being purified 2 live clean birds. And he says these 2 birds represent the 2 Moshiachs. The 2 Moshiachs. And that's amazing right there. And he says that the birds are a fitting symbol for the souls of Mashiach. Okay, he says the 2 Mashiachs will be appointed by Hashem to save the Jewish people. He says the Mashiachs are called birds because, firstly, this is how the lofty souls are described and known in the Zohar. Furthermore, the Redeemer, Mashiach, is described in the words of the sages as birds. And there's a quote in Parsha Balak that actually says, and from that cave a great and superior bird will grow, which will dominate the world, and he will be given royal authority. And the Zohar ends here, but he continues, the HaChaim continues and says, Chazal say, and he quotes Sukkah 52, that there will be 2 Mashiachs for the Jewish people. And I know there's videos of anti-missionaries talking about Sukkah 52, and they say, no, it doesn't really mean Moshiach Ben Yosef. It means more just an explanation of the Jewish people, that they're going to suffer, that this is really about them. And that's true in a way. But HaChaim associates Sukkah 52 with Moshiach Ben Yosef. And in a way, Moshiach Ben Yosef is a part of the Jewish people, just like the Jewish people really are with Mashiach. We're all unified. There is not separate in Judaism. Everything is one. So the HaChaim talks about Sukkah 52. He connects it with Mashiach Ben Yosef. And actually, he says here that there will be 2 Mashiachs for the Jewish people, but he says Moshiach Ben Ephraim, Mashiach son of Ephraim, from the tribe of Ephraim. What's that all about? And then he says, and Moshiac Ben David, a descendant of King David. And he says, Moshiac Ben Ephraim will appear, but he will die. And then Moshiac Ben David will appear. So what's going on with Moshiac Ben Ephraim? See, also, some will say, you see, it doesn't matter if you talk about Moshiac Ben Yosef. There's also Moshiac Ben Ephraim, so who cares? There's different views of Mashiach. You can't really say anything about Moshiac Ben Yosef because there's Moshiac Ben Ephraim. But let's find out what really Moshiac Ben Ephraim is. First, we believe that Mashiach can come in any generation. The Vilna Gaon teaches this. And if he says Moshiach Ben Yosef must come before Moshiach Ben David, just as Shaul ruled over the people before David. And so too, Moshiach Ben Yosef can come before Moshiach Ben Ephraim. And what is Moshiach Ben Ephraim? And we need to understand this. See, the idea that Moshiach Ben Yosef does not necessarily refer to a person from specifically the tribe of Ephraim. Ephraim is not specifically, Moshiach Ben Ephraim is not specifically from a tribe either. Because Ephraim, we see that over time, Ephraim changed from not only being a name, but also an adjective, which also means Ephrati, which describes anyone who has the character traits of Ephraim. In the blessings of Yaakov and Moshe from the tribe of Ephraim are noted for their bravery, as it is written, his bow lived in strength. The firstborn of his herd, grandeur is his, and his horns are like the horns of a wild ox. He will push the people together until the ends of the earth, their leadership and on the crown of their head, of him who was separated from his brothers, the fruitfulness of their land. Yosef is a fruitful bow. The blessings of heaven above, the blessings the deep that crouches below. May his land be blessed from Hashem for the precious things of heaven and for the precious things of the land in its fullness. The fruitfulness of their offspring. Yosef is a fruitful bow. The blessings of the breast and of the womb. And they are 10,000s of Ephraim, and they are thousands of Manasseh. And Yehoshua ben Nun, the first national leader, was from the tribe of Ephraim. And the war against Sisera and the prophetess Devorah praises the tribe of Ephraim as one of the tribes who volunteers to help their brothers to fight. And they are glorified with the praise that came from Ephraim, rooted in Amalek. And so there's a lot of meaning to Ephraim. It's not so literal. I mean, even in Devri Yavim, it says that Caleb took Ephrat, and she gave birth to her. And Ephrat refers to Moses' sister Miriam. Miriam here is called Ephrat because she was the greatest of people in her generation. And every prince and great person who rises up in the Jewish people is called Ephrati. Likewise, David was the son of an Ephrati man in 1 Shmuel 17:12. He was from the tribe of Yehuda. Thus, Ephrati is describing one of the highest characters. So it's not such a literal meaning. It's not so literal. Moshiach Ben Yosef, Moshiach Ben Ephraim, and really is talking about a great person. And the HaChaim goes on, and he says that when it says, and corresponding to two Mashiachs, our verse says, and he shall take for the person being purified 2 live, clean birds. All these adjectives, live and clean, are allusions to the lofty levels of holiness that these 2 great leaders will attain, and as is known to those who possess esoteric knowledge. And he says, 1 bird will be slaughtered. And this verse reads as follows: the Kohen, who is really Hashem, shall command the enemy king, shall slaughter 1 bird, Moshiach Ben Ephraim. for the purpose of atoning for the Jewish people, who have become like an earthenware vessel on the account of lacking spring water. And water is referred to Torah. And the HaChaim says he's going to atone for the Jewish people. Additionally, as a result of his death, Hashem will don grand garments of vengeance in contrast of his attributes of mercy with which he usually conducts the world, and he will put an end to evil-doing idolaters who have killed this Moshiach and have caused harm to the Jewish people in general. And also, as for the lie bird, this is a reference to Moshiach Ben David, he says. And the Holy One blesses, he shall take it, and he will combine with his merit the merit of the patriarchs, as well as the vengeance of the righteous Moshiach Ben Ephraim, who was killed. And that's what it means when he says he shall take it. The merit of Moshiach Ben David with the cedar wood, with the crimson thread and hyssop, the merit of the patriarchs, and he shall dip them and the live bird into the blood of the bird that was slaughtered over the spring water. He will combine the merits of vengeance that was aroused with the death of Moshiach Ben Ephraim, who was slaughtered on account of the Jewish people's lack of Torah study. It's interesting that even when Yeshua walked the earth, and this was coming to the destruction of the second Beit HaMikdash, the temple, and it was because of baseless hatred. I mean, there was not a lot of true Torah in this time. There was, yes, they knew the Torah and all of these things, but they weren't really living the Torah in a kosher way. They were not, there was, sinat chinam, baseless hatred. Also, one more thing just before I go, we're coming into Parsha Akremot. Akremot is in Vayikra here, Vayikra 16. And what does Akremot mean? It means after the death. We read about the death of Aaron's two sons. It says Hashem spoke to Moshe after the death of Aaron's two sons when they approached before Hashem and they died. And why is this connected here? Why are we reading it? After Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, they brought strange fire. They brought strange fire, and there's different opinions on what they were really doing. Some say they were in big fault. In others, there's other opinions that they were very righteous tzaddiks. And we also read in this parsha about the day of Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement, the holiest day in the year. So what's the connection between these concepts? The Midrash explains, Ar Hayim Ba'aba stated, the sons of Aaron died on the 1st of Nisan. Why then is their death mentioned in connection with the Day of Atonement? It must teach that the Day of Atonement affects the atonement, so does the death of the righteous affect atonement. And this is Vayikra Rabbah. And the Chazam Cipher actually says here, while the passing of a Zaddik may be rationalized as serving the purpose of atoning for the sins of their contemporaries, he's quoting Moed Katan 28, that, the death of the righteous. Also, he says, Chazal comment that just on Yom Kippur, Klal Israel's sins are forgiven, so too the death of the Zedekim atones. In a similar vein, the Gemara noting that the death of Miriam immediately succeeds the Parsha dealing with the Parah Aduma, the red heifer, and comments just as the Parah Aduma atones for the sin of the golden calf, so too the passing of the Zedekim atones. And he says, while the passing of the Zedekim helps to expiate Klal Israel's Averos, the Petira of Zedekim, who were properly eulogized, has a much greater impact and atones for the sins of the individual Jew as well. So we see there's so many concepts of the death of the righteous in Judaism. We see that there is many commentaries from the sages about Moshiach Ben Yosef. It's all over the place, and it's not a foreign concept in Judaism. It's actually a very true concept. I mean, just like Israel, the children of Israel depended on Moshe Rabbeinu to help them. It says they had emunah in Hashem and in Moshe, his servant. I believe that's in Exodus 14:31. And so we all need to cling to a Zadik. I came to Judaism, I came to Torah. First, not really knowing Torah, but by experience, just like Israel experienced Hashem when they were leaving Mitzrayim. It was an experience, and I experienced the Zadik in my life who led me to Torah. And this is what it is. A Saras is someone who who has a state of impurity, impure, but transforms to holiness from impurity to purity. And this is the job of Moshiac Ben Yosef. Everybody have a good week. Shavua Tov.